Your dog doesn't think you're human, not in the way you think anyway. It sees you as something more, something it trusts, loves, and follows without question. But have you ever paused and asked, what does my dog actually see when it looks at me? Is it just recognizing my face, my voice? Or is there something deeper? Why does it curl up next to me when I cry or sit quietly when I'm too tired to talk? You might think you've just got a loyal pet, but to your dog, you might be the only reason the world feels safe. And once you understand how it sees you, everything changes. So let's begin not with commands or tricks, but with the silent way your dog memorizes your face. 1. Your dog sees your face and feels home. You probably think your dog knows you by your voice or your scent, maybe by the sound of your footsteps. And sure, all of that plays a role. But there's something much deeper going on, something happening inside its brain every time it looks at your face. Have you ever noticed the way your dog just stares at you? Not in search of food or play, but in stillness, almost like it's studying you. Why does it do that? Scientists have found that dogs have a specific part in their brain devoted to recognizing human faces. Not all faces, just the ones that truly matter. And for your dog, that one face is yours. Imagine that. Out of all the people it may have seen, only your face lights up that region in its mind. Why do you think, after years apart, some dogs still run straight into the arms of their person the second they see them again? It's not just memory, it's connection. And here's the part that will stay with you. When you bend down after a long day and your eyes meet, your dog doesn't just recognize you, it feels safe. It feels home. That one glance is enough to calm the noise in its world. You might think you're the one being comforted, but what if it's both of you at the same time? So now the question becomes, what else does your dog see that you're not even aware of? If it can memorize your face, what does it pick up when your smile fades or when your breath changes just a little? You might be surprised at how much your dog notices and how deeply it understands things you never said out loud. Let's go a little further, because what happens next will make you rethink the meaning of love, loyalty, and what it means to truly be seen. 2. To your dog, you're not the leader, you're family. People often say dogs see us as their pack leaders. Sounds nice, powerful even. But have you ever thought about what that really means to your dog? Does it obey you because it sees you as alpha? Or could it be something even more intimate, something closer to how a child sees a parent? If your dog had to choose one place in the world to run to during a storm, where would it go? Not its bed, not the food bowl. It runs to you every single time. And it's not because it's scared, it's because it believes, without question, that you are the safest place in the world. That's not leadership. That's love. Science calls this a secure base effect, the same thing infants show toward their caregivers. But your dog didn't read the research. It just knows that when its heart races, your presence slows it down. When the fireworks explode, it finds your lap not to hide, but to feel whole. You're not a pet owner in its eyes. You're a constant. You're home. So why does this matter? Because the next time you see your dog curl up beside you, not demanding anything, just being close, you'll understand it's not just resting, it's reconnecting. It's telling you in the only way it knows how I trust you with my life. Now ask yourself this: when was the last time someone looked at you with that kind of trust, with zero conditions? No expectations, just presence. If that question hits something deep in you, maybe it's because you've been carrying more loneliness than you let on. And your dog, it sees that too. But we're not done. Because the next thing your dog knows about you It doesn't come from your words or even your eyes. It comes from the way you move through your day, the way you reach for the keys, or how you breathe when no one's watching. And your dog. It's always watching with more love than you can imagine. 3. Your dog doesn't just watch you, it memorizes you. Have you ever wondered how your dog knows something's off before you even say a word? Like those mornings when you sleep in a little too long and it sits quietly watching. Or when you come home late and instead of barking with joy, it just walks over and leans against your leg. It's not guessing. It knows. Dogs don't rely on language. They rely on rhythm, on patterns, on the tiniest cues that even you don't notice in yourself. The way you tie your hair, the sound of your keys, how your footsteps change when you've had a bad day. You might not see it, but your dog maps all of that, every movement, every breath, and holds it like a living diary of your life. What do you think it means when your dog shifts its energy without you saying anything? When it goes from bouncing around to simply lying near you? Is it trying to be good, or is it trying to be there? You see, to your dog, every change in your routine matters. And it doesn't just notice, it responds. Not to correct you, but to connect with you. You've probably heard someone say, "My dog knows me better than anyone." And the truth, it might. Not because it understands your words, but because it feels your rhythm, senses your changes, and mirrors your mood, without asking why. That's not just sensitivity. That's emotional intelligence and loyalty in its purest form. Now, here's a question that might stop you for a second. If your dog can adjust itself so perfectly to you, when was the last time you truly noticed what it needed from you? Have you ever paused to ask what it feels when your habits shift? Because while you're watching your screen or going through your day, your dog is watching you and waiting. But that's just the beginning. Because what your dog smells, what it senses inside your body, goes far beyond footsteps or tone. It's where science meets something almost spiritual. Let's look at what your dog knows deep inside you before anyone else does. 4. Your dog senses what even machines can't. Have you ever had one of those moments where your dog came up and pressed its head against you, and you didn't even realize you needed comfort until that very second? Maybe you were holding it together all day, smiling, nodding, pretending you were fine. But your dog knew better. How it's not just intuition, it's chemistry. When you're stressed, your cortisol levels rise, your scent changes, your breath slows or quickens in tiny ways no one else would ever notice. But your dog, it was built to notice. Studies show dogs can smell emotional changes in humans with over 90% accuracy. That means your dog doesn't just sense your mood, it smells your stress. And instead of pulling away, it gets closer. But it goes deeper than emotion. Did you know some dogs can detect seizures up to 45 minutes before they happen? Others have been trained to sniff out cancer, even in its earliest stages, just from a breath sample. There are dogs that wake their humans before a diabetic crash. Not because they understand disease, but because their nose tells them something is wrong, something urgent, and their love pushes them to act. So here's the real question. If your dog can sense changes in your body you can't even feel yet, what else has it been protecting you from without you ever knowing? How many times has it sat close, nudged you, or refused to leave your side, and you thought it was just being clingy? Maybe it wasn't. Maybe it was keeping you here. Think about that. Not as an owner, but as someone who has been quietly saved more than once by a creature that never needed to be told how to care for you. And the most humbling part, it doesn't expect anything in return. No applause, no reward, just you. Still breathing, still here. But there's still something even more unbelievable. Because your dog doesn't just understand your fear or pain. It understands your truth, even the parts you try to hide. Let's go there. Your dog knows when you're pretending and still stays. You've done it before, haven't you? Put on a smile when you felt like breaking. Laughed at a joke just to keep things normal. Told your dog I'm okay, even when your chest felt heavy and your hands were cold. You've done it. But your dog never believed you. Not for a second. Because it doesn't listen to your words. It listens to your breath, your heartbeat, the way your voice trembles even slightly. It notices how your footsteps drag when you're worn out, how your shoulders sink when you walk through the door. It doesn't need to ask what's wrong. It already knows. And here's the part that breaks something open. Your dog never calls you out. It doesn't pull away. It doesn't judge you for the mask you wear. It simply adjusts, gently, softly. It'll curl up closer, lay its head, where your hand can reach it. Maybe nudge your knee with a paw. Not because it wants anything, just to remind you, it's here, no matter what. Think about that. How many people in your life do that for you? How many times have you hidden the truth from the world only to find your dog watching you like it sees right through? And it does. It sees the sadness behind your jokes, the fear beneath your silence, the grief you're too tired to explain. And instead of asking you to fix it, it meets you exactly where you are. No conditions, no questions, just love tailored to the real you. Now tell me, when was the last time you truly let that in? Let yourself believe that someone, even a dog, could love you without needing you to be strong, happy, or perfect. Because here's the quiet truth. Your dog doesn't want the best version of you. It wants the honest one, the tired one, the one who's real. But this journey isn't over yet. Because even after all this, the scent, the emotions, the silence, there's still one thing left to understand. What does all of this mean? When your dog chooses you over everyone else, let's bring it home. By now, maybe you've started to see it. The way your dog watches you isn't simple. It's not just loyalty. It's not habit. It's something bigger. Something that doesn't need words. Because in your dog's world, you're not just a person. You're the center of gravity, the constant, the one it trusts when the world feels uncertain. And maybe you've been through things. Maybe you've lost people. Maybe there are nights when the silence is too loud and the house feels too big. But your dog never left, never needed a reason to stay. It just did. Because it chose you. Long before you ever realized what that really meant. So ask yourself, how many times has it waited at the door, even when you were late? How many nights did it curl beside you, sensing a weight you didn't know how to name? How many mornings did it look at you, like nothing else mattered? You didn't have to earn that. You just had to be there. And maybe that's what makes it so powerful. You're not loved because you're perfect. You're loved because to your dog, you are enough. The tired version, the quiet version, the version holding back tears. That's the one it stays for. That's the one it remembers. That's the one it'll wait for every single time. So the next time you see those eyes looking up at you, don't just pet the head and walk away. Pause. Let it sink in. That gaze. It's not asking for anything. It's saying thank you for being here, for still choosing to wake up and show up. Because your dog, it's been choosing you from the very beginning. And if this touched something inside you, if it reminded you of just how much love lives in the quiet moments, then stay. There are more stories like this waiting. More truths that help us see our dogs not as pets, but as the silent witnesses to our most human parts. So, if you're still listening, maybe it means you were the one your dog chose all along.